Hello. Wait for a few seconds, see if people pop in. It's not quite live yet. Takes a little bit for it to go out to all the channels, so I just want to wait in case anybody has any questions about the Undersea Hero update, which we'll get through first. I've been working on the lettering. I'm working my way through. I do a hybrid version of hand and digital lettering where it's I do things digitally first, but then I use that just as a basis to hand letter, so I don't have to use like an Ames guide kind of deal. But it's all hand lettered. Let me just pull up a window here, and then we can show some of the other pages. You know, there's a lot of sound effects. There's a lot of words at the beginning, at least, and then as things carry on and the story develops and action occurs, you know, there's a little less. I think lettering is so important for the flow of action and knowing how to actually separate things. One of the big things I've run into in my career is when a letterer doesn't know how to read artwork and doesn't know how to prevent the order of reading to get out of whack. It's really important when something needs to be contained, or if you break the panel, that it stays in order. You know, there's actually a lot of graphic design principles that go in, because it's, you know, it's design and illustration in the service of narrative, and that's kind of the best description that I've seen. Here's our big musical number. That's two-page spreads that go across that we worked very hard on. And I like this page because the fish's only line is eep, and then he uses the fish to beat the sponges off the spongemen's heads. And that's as far as I got, and that's page 38. Let's stop sharing the screen here. And then I have to reopen this thing. My mic's acting weird. I will do the one fix that I know how to do, so I will give that a try. Hold on, give me 1 second. Here we go. Is that better? Let me know if that's better. Thanks. Yeah, I've been working hard on getting them lettered. I've been cranking through the pages, and my friends have been working on the flats. They're a good chunk of the way through the flats. And when I'm done lettering, I'll jump on flats, and then when the flats are done, I'll jump on colors, and then I just have to lay the colored pages in with the already lettered pages because they're on separate layers. So I'll be able to just drop them in behind, and it'll be ready to go to proofing. I do have a couple of volunteers lined up to help me with the proofing, so that's good. Sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to skip over your intro. Let me grab your comment. So we like to get things going before we dive into trying to draw on a video screen. Hello, I hope you and everyone watching are doing well. If not, I hope things get better for you. And that sentiment is needed and appreciated, so thank you. Hopefully the mic's better. That's the only fix I know how to do. Otherwise, we just give up. We all give up. We go eat some Swiss cake rolls, have a beer, and go to bed. Well, this is as far as we got on the Perhapanauts sketch cover. I left my reference out in the hallway, so we're just going to have to wing it tonight. I had these out just because these are the comics I've been reading lately. Been revisiting the Uncanny X-Men at the end of the Claremont run and the beginning of the through the John Byrne return run, and then the beginning of the Scott Lobdell run. And I just remember reading these as a kid. This one actually got signed by Tom Rainey at a show, 2015, Rhode Island. And these are the next ones I got to read. So if anybody has any thoughts about that era of Uncanny X-Men they want to share, I'm all for talking about it. Martha's, I did get an email. I saw the art fight stuff you sent me. I really liked the energy on the lined pages. I thought those had a lot of really good kinetic feel to them. Yeah, that's a tough thing to keep. For flatting, I think you said you needed the link to the files again or something. I can check back. I'm sorry, today was a little hectic. I was a little scatterbrained, so I can check it after we hang up the phone here. But yeah, I'm happy to send you whatever you need, and if it's just the link to the pages, that's a real easy one. I can just email it over. I think you said something also about the video that I made. I'm not sure where I think I can post it unlisted on YouTube and then send it by itself. I don't know if there's a single link from the Dropbox or not Dropbox, the Spaces or whatever the damn thing's called. I forgot what shape his goggles are. I think they're just ovals. Yeah. They're ovals that kind of go up to the side. We're still penciling just because when I'm on the stream, sometimes I don't see my own mistakes because I'm just laying down lines. So this week is San Diego Comic-Con. Obviously, I'm not there this year. Good luck to all my friends that'll be there. It's a great show. It is a comic book show, in spite of what you might hear from some people. It just also happens to be next to a giant media show. So you have the giant comic book show where you can buy any comic you can think of, including the early Timelies and Atlas and EC. And I mean, there was an Action One there last time I was there. There was a Detective 27. There were many, many copies of all the Silver Age Marvels. So yeah. Oh, I didn't see that second email. Then I'll take a look. It's a very graphical mouth. His nose actually that's the wrong shape for his nose. Glad I took a peek. I'm going to ask you to forgive me, and I'm going to go grab that reference. I'll be right back. There we go. I know this is the same book, but I don't like having to flip it open and go back and forth. Yeah, I don't know what any of that means, Martha. I'll have to look at your email and guess, because like in Hightail, it's just to download the file so that you can do it native. You know, I don't expect people to color directly on do flats on Hightail. Hey, Jonathan. Good to see you, man. Yeah, I'm just not sure what you mean. Like, I don't understand. Like, you can't color right onto Hightail. It's just a file holding, like a Dropbox or what used to be You Send It a long time ago. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean. So we'll have to figure it out. We will figure it out. Yeah, today was just a lot of running around, a lot of adulting, as the kids say. Yeah, I think I saw something where you said you were on Allison's stream. You were looking for something other than Photoshop to do flats on, and so I don't really know what's going on. Some people do flats on like their what is it? On their iPad on what is the Apple sketching program? Procreate. And some people use oh, the how-to video. Okay, yeah. It's in that same folder, but I might be able to put it on YouTube or something, and that way it's just there. I was meaning to do it, I just haven't gotten around to it. Yeah, I don't know how the heck you're doing it on your phone, but yeah, in that same folder, it was called like tutorial. Let me see if I saved it on here somewhere. Undersea Hero. Ready for flats? Flats tutorial, yes. The file name was 000-flatting tutorial. I mean, if we all wanted to watch a video, I could just show it on the stream, I guess. Although after the screen share, I did this for this the beginning of this video to show off the lettered pages. I do think I could do lettering on the stream if there's any lettering to do left next week. So if people are interested in seeing that process, it looked like my computer was able to handle at least doing that. So yeah, my brain's not in. I don't know. My brain's just all over the place. It's having one of those. What's the right word? Anxiety days. Yeah, I'll take a look. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't see the email with the examples you sent. I saw the pages you sent that you had drawn for your project, and I thought there was good energy in those. Keeping energy through the coloring and inking process is tough. It takes a lot of practice, because like I think the normal inclination, especially when I was younger, was to like just keep putting more and more into it, and that's just not the case. Like that can choke the life out of a drawing, and I've done that for my own drawings many, many times. I call it cooking. I cook a drawing and I put too much into it, and I'm not looking at the distinct shapes as separate entities enough. They start to blend into one another, and that's where like the forms get mushy, and that's when I'm not drawing well. Hey, Patrick. The Perhapanauts is a group of characters. I did like a little how-to or tutorial about them last go around. I think I still have it here. They're a group called Bedlam, and this is Choopy. He's a chupacabra who is the, I would say the protagonist of the group. He gets into all kinds of mischief. This is Big. He's a Sasquatch, a very smart Sasquatch. This is Arisia. She's got telekinetic powers. This is MG, and then this is Molly. And they're kind of the core group. And Carl is the Mothman, and it's cryptids. It's got several trades. This was from one of the recent Kickstarters, I think a year or so ago, because they're re-releasing the older issues that came out from Dark Horse and Image. And there's a whole library of stuff, and it's Craig's fantastic artwork, and Todd Dezago is the writer. And I put links to everything that they're working on or have available in the description. And yeah, I can't recommend it enough. Awesome people, fantastic comics. Yeah, I shared my Todd story last time, so that would be in the last stream. I met Todd when I was young, and he was very kind to a naive comic dreamer at a comic convention when I was a kid many moons ago. And he and I would say Ron Mars and Daryl Banks and Rich Buckler definitely showed me my preferred way to interact at conventions, and that's basically like if you make comics, no matter where it is, you're one of us, and as long as you're a decent person and kind to people, that like you're one of us. And that includes self-published. That includes doing web comics. If you make comics, you're a comic artist. Okay, Marthas, I will check that out. Thank you. Yeah, and don't worry if I mean, I'm sure you've got your deadlines for your art fight. Those are usually like hard deadlines, from what I know about it. I'm trying not to make it look too much like anything that I would design, because that I think would be a failure on my part to capture the essence of the characters. One of the good things is that's in my favor, and this is something to keep in mind. If you're ever trying to fit into the feeling of a certain artist without copying their work, but you want to have you want it to feel right, the way the character's portrayed. research what tools that they use or what their inker uses, and that can help you a lot. And Craig uses these Faber-Castell pit pens, and he does a lot of like just dead line. And then what he likes to do is he'll go in and reinforce with like a double line for his thick lines. And that's pretty much the fidelity of his line weight, and he will add it a little bit here and there. This I think this book was drawn completely digitally. I don't think he actually used pit pens on this one. There's a smoothness that's a little bit different than when he goes with his pit pens. There's a different line quality. I haven't asked him. I should ask him. And I have not mailed out those 2 sketch covers that I need to mail out. Just been, I don't know, I've got to get this book done. It not being done has affected my ability to do things negatively. So we got to get it to the next stage where it's getting printed and it's somebody else's thing to work on for a little bit. Okay. I gotta fix this hand, like this whole part of MG I'm not happy with. And then I'm happy with the Sasquatch for the most part. I gotta finish his hand. And then I gotta finish Molly a little bit. We just kind of roughed her in, so I think we're okay. We're at a point where I could use a pen on Choopy and I wouldn't feel too bad. Let me pull this down a little bit. Take a look at it through the light and see how it looks. It looks okay. I think that looks okay. Molly, I'm trying to keep simple because she's supposed to be young, on the younger side. I won't like spoil her backstory, but she became a ghost not as a middle-aged or old person. She was a teenager, I believe. Oh, totally, yes. Yeah, I agree, Patrick. Lex Luthor would be manipulating Bigfoot uh, for his evil purposes. And it's interesting, the way he draws Big has changed a little bit over the years. Um, he was definitely more dog-like early on, I feel. Her dress actually matches the moray eel, which is green. Sorry about that. Thirsty. When I'm making myself, I don't have to pencil it super tight because I can make some extra decisions while I'm inking. I don't know if anyone follows Chris Samney on his social media. High recommendation. Love his work. Her hair is black with like blue highlights. If you look at old comics, the way Lois Lane's hair was, especially one drawn by oh man, worked on Lois Lane books for years. Hold on. Um, uh, Bob Oxner. Yeah. Yep. Bob Oxner. A fantastic artist who did a lot of work on like comics that no one cares about anymore, which were like the funny DC comics of the 60s and 70s. And he did like romance and Lois Lane comic. He did a newspaper strip. Mistake there. Can't have the hood go in front of a sweatshirt that doesn't go all the way around. Hey, Michael, thanks for popping in. Take care. Yeah, Bob Oxner. I actually have a page of artwork that he did, inked by Wally Wood, for Angel and the Ape in my comic art fans gallery. Um, it's a beautiful page. He just does fantastic, clear, concise storytelling. And when he's rendered by a perpetual noodler and world-renowned renderer like Wally Wood, it just makes for an amazing comic book page. And it's one of those books that like doesn't age too well, and but it's skillfully crafted, and it's a book that artists talk about. And I've mentioned on several like interviews, podcasts, etc., that that's one of the few books that I would ever want to do for any sort of mainstream outfit. And that list is not very long, and it's actually gotten shorter um, over the years. But there is something to be said, though, also for taking the challenge of working on something that you're not a fan of and want to make it something good anyway. So I don't know. But if it was one of those where they were like, pick one, you know, the classic old Steranko, probably exaggerated story of when he met Stanley, and that's when he picked Nick Fury to work on Strange Tales. That's right. She's also wearing the belt. I'll have to drop that in there. Oops. I'm sure it's a little lower cut than I thought it was. That's all right. Sometimes when I'm drawing, I let objects that are near each other affect the shape of the thing next to it. Like when I'm drawing and I'm drawing, let's say I'm drawing a head, something like this. And we gotta draw the skull, and there's the back of it, and then there's the neck. Sometimes when I draw, like let's say I'm drawing the eye, the offside eye, and then I'm drawing this eye. Well, sometimes when I'm drawing, a mistake that I'll make is like I'll let the eye socket be dictated independently or by one of the shapes around it nearby that doesn't make any sense, instead of treating it like a cutout shape separate, like all the planes of the skull. Like here's the eye, here's the top of the eye socket, there's the bottom, there's the eye. I'm thinking about it as like these things that kind of mush together. That's one of my mistakes that you can see on my work if you do overlays. And I try to combat it, but there's just sometimes it's just tough. Old habits. I was doing it with this hand. Like I was letting the fingers next to each other determine the shape of the one above it or below it when they needed to function independently. And this is nuts and bolts drawing, like what's going on in my head or what does it need to be, etc., etc. Getting a spring-heeled Jack vibe from that cover. Spring-heeled Jack. I don't think I'm familiar with that one. I'm just trying not to make myself look like a fool because I'm drawing characters of a friend of mine's, two friends of mine, people I respect. Maybe I'll ask Craig to do an overlay for me and he can point out everything that's wrong with it. An English urban legend. I see. That's what I was going to say. That's not a Jack Staff comic book. By the fantastic Paul Grist. Paul Grist, another excellent storyteller whose work I would recommend checking out if you don't know it. Jack Staff, yeah, Paul Grist. He did some work. Did a little bit of work for Marvel. I think he did some 2000 AD. Jack Staff came out from Image Comics. He worked on the next issue project for Image for Eric Larson. He did a Silver Streak story in that was very good. Kane, that was another one that he did. Mudman, fantastic comic book. Beers with Tars Tacos, yeah. Or Cantos Can. See if we can fix this hand or if I'm going to keep screwing it up. Independent shapes, independent shapes. If I have to adjust the gun, that's not a big deal. I'd rather adjust the gun than the hand placement. That doesn't come quite as far over. Usually when I work on the stream, I go straight, like, more in like my work clothes. Sometimes I will sweat my face off while I'm doing these. Today I remember to put shorts on, which was a good move. Solid move to put shorts on before doing this stream, because it gets hot in here. I do not have air conditioning. Why do I keep just messing this up? Shark Week? Everybody watching Shark Week? Yeah, I keep messing this up majorly. Take a breath. Today's just not my day. I thought we'd be inking by now, but we're not. I'm sweating now, so it's not a good day. That looks better. I think we're getting there. We just can't pull the hand too far back. Reaching that point where I wish I did not have a work phone. Okay. Wow. That's a cool perspective, Patrick, of time. A little bit. It just doesn't look right. I feel like quitting, but I can't. So. Just keep trying, I guess. Cheap viewers, apparently. Getting spam from over on Twitch. It's one thing I can promise. I will never be purchasing viewers for cheap on Twitch. I think it's the edge of the book that's throwing me off. Let's see if this helps. I just can't see it. I can't figure it out. Looks better. Make shorts. Yeah, I've thought about doing that, but I've just never had the time. There's actually like an automatic shorts maker built into Restream, but I've never used it. I've just never sat down with it. All right, well, let's get some pen on this. Maybe I'll start to feel better. Has any life left in it? No, that one's got some life in it. Yeah, that one feels pretty good. Eat my shorts, yep. The classic Bart Simpson. I will say, Craig, the creator of these characters, is a big Simpsons fan as well, so you would appreciate the reference. That was the early days, the early Bart Mania days. See if I'm able to land this plane at all. I'm not feeling great about it, but we'll do our best. The early 90s Simpsons, of course, of course. Just mention the Camp Krusty episode to Jay, and he will talk to you for hours. Sweet, nourishing gruel. Yeah, the only time I've drawn these characters was on those preliminary sketches that I did on my coffee break, which I don't know where those are right now, and it's probably best that I don't, because I'd probably be reverting back. And there's a point in a drawing for me where if I keep second guessing, like I'll never get through it, and I just have to put it aside, do the best I can, and push through. And it'll be what it'll be. You know, I'm gonna take a look at his rendering just real quick of how he used to do Big's hair. Like, I don't think there were very many lines. No. Don't over render. Yep. I start to see it coming through. It looks okay. I don't hate that pen and ink drawing right there. Yeah, the passing of the Blizzard of Oz. Yeah, I haven't talked to Jay since he crossed over. Jay went to many a Ozzy concert in his day. I never saw Ozzy live. No, I did not. Wasn't that big of a fan for the cost of entry. Oh, okay. You got to see him live. That's cool. Yeah. Just looking at how he drew on his Big's hands. Yeah, they have like the fingerless gloves. I'm just looking for a fist. Hey, you too, Patrick. Good to hang out with you. Enjoy the movie. Let's go ahead. Add the gloves. Let me switch to the F size, see if that helps with the longer lines. Yeah. Makes you feel like a kid jumping on a trampoline. Well, that's pretty cool. That music could give you that feeling. That music gave you that feeling. That's pretty special. Have a better one of these. I may want to just put some light ink wash on this when it's done. Just because I don't know, I feel like I don't achieve enough space on the piece. You know, that's a weird way to describe it. That hand still sucks. I'm gonna have to try again, I guess. This hand just sucks. I don't know. The placement, the feeling, everything about it just sucks. Everything about it sucks. That hand had to go. Has to go. We have to fix that. I might have to do a practice drawing separate from the piece to get it down. Do a couple of studies or something. Let's see if I can do a better job on this. Yeah, I'll have to apologize. I'm cutting away from the style guide a little bit. This pen isn't doing it either. What's wrong with this one? I have another 0.5. We got what we got. We've got what we got. It's okay. That's not bad. It's coming along okay. Of course, the pen starts to bother me. Use this pen so I can see how it takes this kind of ink. We're still testing out I've never used this type of sketch cover before, so I'm a little nervous about throwing too much ink at it. So maybe even that idea of doing a ink wash might not be a good idea. It's not my day. Terrible. I just don't have it tonight. I do not have it. I think we're just going to call it here shortly and cut our losses so I can do some studies off camera and try to fix what I can't seem to figure out on camera. Yeah, I mean, I just need to do some hand studies, and hopefully that'll bring us back to where we need to be. But I think Arisia turned out okay. At least her face did. Big isn't bad. Then we have some progress, and we'll do our best to finish it off. All right. Well, thanks everybody for popping in tonight. We're going to call it a night. I will check out those emails, Martha's, and see if I can get back to you about that video. I'll try to post it tonight. On the back, there is some stuff here, and it's got issues. So, what do you call it? Toner on the back because it's a digital print. So, yeah, I'll try to post that video, and I'll read that email and get back to you. And thanks everybody for coming out. I hope you have a good weekend and have a lovely night. And I'll see you next week. All right. Good night, everybody. Bye.